We're live. So I just wanted to say to Chris that I need to keep in mind that I'm speaking English and not Dutch. So, but that's going great. So, hello, everybody. It's been a month, and there's been a lot of things happening in that month. So, first, Chris, welcome.
Thank
Nice
you.
to have this talk again because I missed it actually. I don't
Yeah,
know
me
how it
too.
was for you. Yeah. But the other thing that happened and that I'm very grateful for is, as you people know, well, maybe you didn't, but in previous talks, I talked about it that I went back to Holland. And during that time, I was able to connect with the peers during the peer meetings that we were all there. And I'm so very grateful to be part of the team in a whole because normally because of my time difference and there's people like in Singapore and in Australia, so usually there's always a part of the team that is at the peer meeting, and now we were all there 2 times in a row. So well, one time was all and one time was almost all, and that was great. So
Yeah.
very grateful for that. That I had the opportunity to join in from the Netherlands. How was your experience with that?
Oh, it was great. It's such a good vibe with the group. Every time it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And you should watch the meeting from today. It was magic. We
Okay, yeah, good.
we really missed you there. Yeah, it was magic.
Okay.
And yeah, it's it's so it's we are we are vouching for diversity and to love diversity, and within the group we are all so diverse, and it is such an experience, a nice experience to experience that, because we were talking about a subject like conditioning on words, like it was about the word love, self-love, and the word self-respect. And there were some peers who were conditioned of the word self-love. They were conditioned about the way that people would talk to them, that they were selfish if about self-love. And we were talking about, oh, I relate more of I relate more on respect. And then we have also Frida. She's from Asia, and she was having an eye-opening conversation because she was conditioned with the word respect, because people from there, they should respect even when the other people do not deserve it, but they do but then are they do have they are forced to have respect no matter what. So she told us she is very conditioned about that. So we decided how beautiful it is when you have different words of the same meaning, but so that you can yeah, so you can reach everybody. So, and it's a very, very, I think it's a very nice topic to talk about when you talk about conditioning on words. You have many words who are conditioned, and I most of the times I'm not aware of that. I don't, and then I use a word, and then like for example, I use the word manipulating. For me, manipulating is neutral. You can manipulate things in a good way or in a bad way. It's both there, but it's for me it's neutral. But I can tell you, guys, for a lot of people, it's very very difficult word to hear. I've many times I had people who I was talking to, and they said, "Why, why, why manipulate is bad. So I said, no, it's not bad. Many people at many times it was used in a bad way, but it's not bad. It's not bad to manipulate if you do it in a good way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So can I ask a question? Because you said commission the word, but I want to see if I understand you correct. You mean that one word can be used in different ways and be like one word has different words and different meanings for people? Is that what you mean with commissioned words?
Conditioned.
Oh, conditioned. Sorry,
Yes,
I heard
conditioned.
commission. So I was
No,
like,
it's
I never heard
conditioned. Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm sorry, guys, if I was not clear. Conditioned. It is
Oh,
conditioned.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of way more sense. Because the other thing is also true, there's words that have different meanings and can be used in different ways. Especially here, like in Mexico, they have Spanish words, and you have like the word good in English, but then you have like it's six different kind of words in Spanish to say good. So it depends on what your meaning is, which one you will use. So that's why I was like, is that what she's talking about? Or, but no, okay, condition. Yeah, conditioning is a thing, and it's a massive thing. And it's definitely something that has like traditions and parts of the world. Yeah, the Western world, and you have Latin America, you have the Central
Yep.
America, you have Africa, and they all will have different conditioning around certain words,
Yep.
money, love, and respect, and whatever. And yeah, that is an interesting topic also to talk about, just to discover how they are approaching that word. Because like in Spain, or like I shouldn't say Spain, Mexican Spanish, because it's different than Spanish. There is the distinction too in how our words are used, or how in tradition people are approaching each other. And so they have total different conditioning to what I'm used to. So that's interesting also to see and to discover, like, oh wait, that's a whole thing here. Oh, I need to be more aware of that happening around me, and then you can go with the flow of that, and I don't have to do something with it, but I just become aware of like the differences also in how people are brought up, how like, for example, this is a Roman Catholic church is a really big thing here in Mexico. So they have different values, different traditions, and yeah, it's interesting. I like that everybody and coming from all over the world has different things
Yeah.
that they come across. And why I like it so much, because of I'm the 1-3, of course, is that I can learn a lot from those experiences that they have, and just know like, oh, okay, that's coming from there. So yeah, I used to be very like, what the hell is happening? Do 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 do, and now I'm like, okay, wait, let's ask, where is that coming from? How are you seeing that? And then you get to the bottom of that. It's a tradition, or it's something that they were brought up in, like respect and pride. Like, for example, pride is a big thing here in Mexico, especially amongst men. And you can say like, oh, but I don't need you to do that, that, and that. And they are like, wow, they will be like, I am a proud man, and I need to do, I need to provide, I need to do this, I need to do that. And yeah, I'm really learning to just step back then and just be like, okay, that's where they are coming from. And I just need to stay neutral in that energy, because they can only find out for themselves if there is another way to approach it. They are not waiting on me that I will tell them with my little finger and like, no, that's not necessary, or no, you're not supposed to do that, because that doesn't work. So yeah, I don't know. We're going a whole different way all of a sudden. Always fun with these talks of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I will definitely look back, and I also need to look back from last week, because I couldn't join, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm busy, busy, busy. A
Yeah.
lot of
You're
things
busy.
happening here.
Hey Mariska, I'm very curious because often we are talking about energy and energy fields and you just, like you said, you just went to Holland and the Netherlands, and I'm very curious about how did you experience both countries now, energetic wise. Did you feel difference or with your body, for example, or how does it your energy field works differently in the Netherlands than in Mexico? I'm very curious about that.
Well, that's a good thing to hang it up right away, because it's not that my energy field will work different, because my energy field is my energy field.
Hmm.
But the thing that was very distinctive for me was that the moment the plane went over Holland, I wasn't even landed yet. I was just hanging over Holland, and I already felt like, I would describe it like there was this, and you have those woolen blankets, those heavy blankets. They are very heavy, and it was like somebody or something put this big blanket over me, and it disconnected me right away. So I landed, I came down, and the other thing that I noticed was the busy, 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 busy. I mean, hurry, 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 hurry energy, and like the energy of people frustrated with each other, irritated by other people, like, oh, you're in my way, go away, or you're standing there, and I don't want you to stand there. And I immediately got pulled into that energy. So I noticed, because here in Mexico, I'm very tranquil, at peace, and I don't, I have patience and whatever. And all of a sudden, everything was gone, and I felt like in a hurry, and I felt like irritated by people in my way. And I was like, why are you standing over in my head? And I, of course, didn't verbalize it, but in my head, I was like, why are you standing there? Why I have to wait on my luggage? And I was agitated, really agitated. So that was a very consuming energy, actually, because it drains you right away. It's like as if someone is sucking the energy out of you. And I felt like already depleted, and I wasn't even, maybe an hour in Holland, and I was like, oh my God. And my first instinct was, I want to go to the counter, because I didn't even leave the airport yet. I want to go to the counter, book my ticket back, and I'm on the first plane out of here, because it was so overwhelming. And for me, what I actually found worse was, here in Puerto Vallarta, I found that I was really close to my instinct, intuition. I could really talk to my guides, and there was this connection, and it was easy. And all of a sudden, I couldn't connect. And I felt really alone, actually. I was like, whoa, I'm all of a sudden thrown back on myself, and I cannot reach out. I tried to reach out, but nothing happened. So that took 2 days, 2 full days, to just get adjusted to like the massive, crazy energy in Holland. It's very crazy energy. It's very busy. And then I got like, the day that I arrived, I had diarrhea, and it took 10 days. So there was also this thing going on, like purging or something. Like it felt like my body needed to release everything that was thrown into me like at once. And my body was like, whoa, wait a minute, we have to get that out, we have to get that out. So I had very bad diarrhea for 10 days. Within 2 days, I had all my old complaints. I had a lot of ailments in Holland. I was always depleted of energy. Um, I had my heart condition would frequently come up with issues. I would have pain in my back, headaches, more tension in my shoulders. So within 2 days, everything was back like all days. Like I felt depleted, I was sick, I was feeling tired, I couldn't move literally. I was sitting on my chair and there was this energy of being stagnant, like not able to get yourself up and take one step at a time. It just was like walking. We have the, I don't know the English word, we have the wadden in Holland. It's a place where you can walk during low tide, and it's, you get a little bit of sucked into the sand when you walk through it, so it's heavy to walk through it, and you have to make an effort walking through it. So it felt like that, like every step in, even in the house, was like taking an effort. So that continued the whole period that I was there. And I eventually found, after a couple of days, a way to reconnect with my source. But it was not easy. It was not like the connection here in Puerto Vallarta. So I just accepted it for what it was. I was like, okay, this is apparently something that I have to experience and see the difference between what's happening here in Holland and how it is for me in Puerto Vallarta. So then I came back after 16 days, and the most miraculous thing happened. I was 4 hours in Puerto Vallarta. I landed in the morning, and within 4 hours, all my physical problems, backache, neck, the connection, everything, it was gone. It was good. I was like light again. I felt grounded again. The veil was lifted. The cloud was lifted. The blanket was lifted. And it was like, I'm home. So, and that for me was the biggest confirmation I could get that I made the right choice coming to Mexico, that I'm here in this moment, at least it's the right place for me to be. And it's really healing. For me, it's really healing. And what it also told me is that the pull that I always felt for years before that, like I wanted to go out of the Netherlands, I needed to go somewhere else, but I didn't really, I didn't really listen because of circumstances. My ex didn't want to move, and he didn't want to live in another country and stuff like that. And I chose to stay with him. So, the consequence was that I couldn't go live abroad. And what I'm learning now, and it's always easier in hindsight, of course, is that I will never, ever make that compromise again. If my body tells me I need to go, I need to go, because it's literally bad for my health to not listen to it. But that is for me. I'm not saying that it is for everybody like that, but for me, it definitely is. And yeah, I need to honor that. I need to honor myself and love myself enough to make the choice to just follow that. So yeah, I try to keep it as short as possible. That's what is my experience to go to Holland and back to Puerto Vallarta.
So I think you experience the cross of tension a lot.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, true.
So if it's not right for you, you have the cross of tension, and if it's not right for you, then your body tells you with tension in the body.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even connect those dots yet, but yeah, definitely, because I'm tensing up whenever, and I actually, when something here happens that is like a sign or something, so the universe is trying to tell me, I sometimes, or usually I get like a voice in my head saying no, or I feel like no, and my body will like, for me, I can get really literally nauseated, or like I have the feeling that I need to vomit in situations that's a no for me. So I follow that. Yeah, for me, it's a big body thing. My body will always tell me, and tensing up is one of those symptoms or directions or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, the more I listen to it, the better I am and feel, and things stay more in flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have the cross of tension too. But you
Yes.
are different, a little bit different. You have the 3, so that's the same, but you have the 5 in your profile. So how is it showing up for you?
The
Tension,
tension.
cross
Now,
of
I
tension.
just came back from 1 week staying at a friend's place. She is a massage. She's a
Massage
she do,
therapist.
yeah, massage therapy, and because I had so much tension from so many years. So I from that day, it was most yeah in 2018. I already somebody already told me that I had a lot of tension in my neck and in my shoulders and in my back, and but that day during that time I didn't know anything about human design and about my purpose and about my cross. So I didn't know that I had the language of tension, and now I know, and now I'm aware of that. And so yes, for me it's the same. If I the language of my body is if it's not a match, or if something is happening is with tension. Yes. So Monique told me, and I agree that if we do things, we have to we have to let it go, to release with massages, or with I also went to the sauna, and I have to do a lot of body work.
Yeah.
So you guys, if you have the course of tension, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I talk from my experience, and I hear the same from you, that if you have the course of tension, I think you have to do some body work to get rid of the tension. Or, and of course, if you listen and you respond to your strategy of your energy field and your inner truth, the less tension you will get, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that. Of course, I'm aware of that. When I was not aware of my energy type, I'm the red energy type, and so I have to respond on things. And I have the emotional inner truth. So I have to wait my wave. I have to feel what's true for me. I can never know in the now what is true for me. And yeah,
Yeah. You said you have to wave. Does your because of the cross of tension, does it show up in your wave to help you with the decision also?
yeah,
Okay.
yes. Yes, it actually a few maybe 5 6 years ago, I and then I didn't know about human design, but I also wrote about those. It's like uh, the wave. I also already wrote about the wave, like when you are in the top of your wave, and then you can confront yourself, and and you can do a lot of things. But when you are down in in the lower part, then it's much better to stay close to yourself, and not to make big decisions. And I was already writing about that. And if you translate that into tension, I can relate to the thing that I have more I have more tension in the lower part than in the upper part, because also because of the conditioning of about being in the lower part. For me, like people do not like when you're a little bit less energetic, or when you are less happy. And so and I'm a very energetic type. I can feel and I can sense a lot of energy. So that would give me that gives me tension in my body when people react on that. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So it's all connected with the
Yeah,
strategy, the inner truth, and everything. Yeah,
for me,
yeah, that's
yes, yes.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, it's the same. It's also with the instinctual. For me, my body is reacting to something like no, that's a no, or so. Yeah, it's showing up in my body big time. And now I start. Well, the last couple of years, I worked learning about that stuff. So if, for example, I have a toothache or something, I have this big book from Christiana Beerland, and I will check what it is telling me, because I know it's energy that from my body telling me something that I need to become aware of. And I also use like animals for that, like the animals that I see and that are really like in my face. I will look that up too, and then I usually find the answer for why I'm tensed in that moment. Or so
Yeah.
I use a lot of external information also to find the answer to what is happening, what do I need to be aware of. And yeah, usually I just read through it, and up until now it's always right on point, like whoa, how did they know that? And then I just let it go again. It's more, it's not like I need to contemplate about it or whatever. It's more like becoming aware of, like, oh, okay, this is something that I need to know right now. And then I just let it go again. And when I need it again, it just, the butterfly will come again, or the cockroach or whatever will come again. So yeah, it's interesting when you start to really connect with energy, and you really approach life from the point of view, the perspective that energy is always there and always trying to help you. So yeah, that for me was like an eye opener, because the animals are energy, the people around you are, and everything is energy.
Everything, yeah.
Everything, yeah. So that's, and then I'm starting to feel that more, see that more, and connect with it more, and trust it more. That's, I think, for me a very important thing, that I just trust that, okay, there is this energy flow. And also when it's stagnant, okay, just to trust that too, because then there's something that I'm there to become aware, or become aware of, or maybe I need to learn something or grow or whatever. So yeah, it's there's no, and approach it from neutrality. You stay neutral, and then just take in whatever comes on my path. And yeah, it's grounding. It's getting, it helps me a lot getting out of my mind. So that's becoming easier and easier every day by doing that, because I know that a lot of people always are like, yeah, how do I turn off my mind? And for me, turning off my mind is my mind telling me to turn off my mind. So it doesn't work. I cannot sit there and like, oh, now I'm going to turn off my mind. That just doesn't work. And I tried meditating, I tried all kinds of stuff. And, the focus was from my mental plane, like, yeah, I want to turn it off. And what I learned is everything you focus on in energy will become bigger. So the harder I thought about turning it off, the louder it got. And for me, following my intuition, my instinct, so my inner truth, and my strategy from the yellow energy field, but also just surrendering to life and to being as a person, um, that makes it almost happens automatically, that the mind chatter gets less and less and less. So I'm not really actually doing something to get the mind chatter out. It's just the more that I am in flow, the less mind chatter I have. And so yeah, I would strongly want to call upon you, and the people that are, not you, but the people that are listening, just to experiment with that, especially when you are prone, like me, to always get in your head. um, and you find that meditation and stuff, and that does the opposite of what you're trying to do. Just be, it's just the being as a human being that for me did the trick. So maybe experiment with it, try it out, and see what happens for you. And of course, follow your own strategy and inner authority with the decisions you make in experimenting. But yeah, so it's not always about a thing you have to do the one thing and then get a certain result.
Oh, maybe you know what also would help if you try to get out of your head, let somebody touch your feet
Oh yeah.
and hold your feet. Yes, you have to get your energy get lower and lower and lower. It's the whole energy is surrounded over here then, and it has to get lower. So one thing you can do is let somebody touch your feet, or massage foot massage, things like that. Or
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Also, but does it also help when you do it yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. Try.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not always have someone around to touch my
Yeah,
feet.
yeah, yeah. Or maybe you can walk. You can walk in the water. So actually
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
water or
do
the
that.
sand,
Yeah, I
the
do that
water
a
or the
lot.
sand is touching your feet, and you feel it, and your breath. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you focus on the belly, just focus on your breathe, and then imagine that you breathe through to your belly.
Breath. Yeah, you're breathing
You're
through your.
breathing, yeah, through your belly. So it's constantly, yeah, it will help you to get out of your head.
Yeah, I actually this is interesting because instinctively this was not something I did consciously, but I do the walking in the sand and in the water in the sea. And I also always what I do when I walk, and that has the same effect. Now I think about it, is I always I'm very aware of how my feet touch the ground when I put my feet down. So I'm focused on feeling what my soles of my feet are, becoming aware of. Like, are there stones, or is the road uneven? Is it a flat surface? Is it a little bit like bubbly? Or especially here because we have a lot of cobblestones here still. So the road is very uneven, and then you have those little sharp rocks, and with thin shoes, you can feel those rocks through the sole of your shoes, and that's making me also really ground. So interesting about the touching the feet. Yeah, that would be exactly the same effect. I can now see how you mean it.
Yeah, or you can touch with your hands, you can touch your belly and just feel your belly and then breathe to it. And or you just go with your thoughts, go to your hands, just feel it. And then automatically you will get lower and lower and lower. Those are are techniques when you have a panic attack.
Okay.
If you have a panic attack, your energy, it's you're getting you are very focused on here, from here and to there. So you have to get lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, and you have to go to the belly and to more relaxation.
Yeah.
So those techniques I know from that, from the how to act when you have a panic attack. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is as simple of just becoming aware of it, because I also I'm when I'm up here, and I can be really up here also in the spirit realm, like, that I don't want to be on earth because I don't like what happens here, especially in Holland. I had that a lot. I was living more here, like in the ethereal realm, because it was more beautiful and it felt better, but I was disconnected from myself doing that, and just thinking about my feet touching the ground would already pull me down from the ethereal realm more to down, literally down to earth again. So yeah, that's the power of thought, because everything is energy. Yeah, it's so powerful. And yeah, I'm actually I'm actually a little bit, you have the whole manifestation um, thing going on, like the last 10 years or something. Everybody's talking about manifestation and the power of thought. And of course, that's true. There is power in thought, and it's good to manifest things and whatever. And also, that you need to, really believe what you're trying to manifest, or not trying, what you are manifesting, because the word trying already is not really positive. Um, but what for me, I'm finding out is that that all falls away for me, since I'm doing the following my inner truth, inner and my strategy and whatever. I am not even, I'm not doing any affirmations, none whatsoever. I have a big vision. I always had that, so that's still there. But manifestations are just happening right now
Yeah,
without me
yeah,
doing affirmations. And you need to do
very
this,
quick.
and you need to do it 10 times a day, and you need da, da, da,
Yeah,
da. Because for me, that only gets me in my head again. Oh, I need to do it this, and I need to do
mm,
that, and then and I already feel like this when I tell myself that I need to do that.
yeah. Then it becomes a duty. It has.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I sense, for me at least, following my design, it just happens. It's the flow that it's just happening. You don't need to be even consciously aware of it. It's whatever you need in life, and I'm putting it exactly like that, like what you need in life, not what you want in life, but what you need in life. You will get it. You will just get it.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't have any vision boards anymore. I just don't have it anymore, because it for me, and I'm not saying that for you, if you're listening or watching this, that it doesn't work for you, because everybody is different. We have in our design all kinds of different gifts, different lines, and whatever that can maybe mean for you, that you're very visual and that you like a vision board to be, conscious.
I have one. I just made one.
Exactly. So but I'm only sharing my experience
Uh-huh,
to
yes. Yeah.
also let people know that it isn't always about the vision board. It isn't always about the affirmations or whatever. Find out what works for you. And that can be totally different than anybody else is doing right now, even. We're here to innovate. We are people who are here to follow our purpose. And with following our purpose, we will be innovative in every kind of way possible without you even knowing that you are innovative.
Yeah. Yeah, if you follow your strategy and your inner truth, and your purpose, of course, if you keep that in mind or in your heart, whatever, then all your talents and gifts will automatically start to work for you,
Yeah,
and you don't have to do anything for that. So you automatically are in the flow.
yeah, true. And it was funny because since I'm back, because in Holland I wasn't in flow at all, because I was really pulled in my mind, and the disconnect was happening. And here, I got back and the flow started right away, and things started to come my way again. And the only thing that I'm learning right now is really stay in a neutral place and be really open minded, because sometimes you hear something and your mind would react like, well, that's not for you, or there will be some kind of judgment happening in your mind. And I'm seeing now, because I had this opportunity thrown my way about buying a hotel here in Puerto Vallarta. And the first thing my mind said was like, no, that's too big of a project. That's not for you. Da, 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 da. And so, like 2 years ago, I would probably have said, okay, not even going there. I will stay on my path that I am on right now. And now I was like, I heard the voice, of course, like, well, that's a big project, da, 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 da. But I was immediately, I could tell myself, okay, just stay neutral and just see where it goes. You know, maybe it is happening, maybe it isn't happening, but there is just neutrality. There is a reason this is all of a sudden thrown in your lap. So just follow where the energy takes you. And I really have to trust my instincts on this every time and every day. Like when I feel something like, okay, I can make a step forward. Oh, no, wait, I'm not doing anything. I'm just resting today. Or no, I'm going to work on my workshop today. So there's totally different things. And my mind is, of course, like, yeah, right, but you need to do this and you need to do that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I don't. My energy is telling me that now it's time for this or now it's time for that. And as it evolves, you know, the whole hotel thing, for example, I see it as a very big learning experience. You know, I'm learning all kinds of things. And also, I'm meeting all kinds of new people all of a sudden. And that opens other doors again. So that's very interesting for me because being open-minded about like, okay, I'm just going to follow my instinct. That's my inner authority. And then I will see how it will develop. And there's no attachment to the outcome. So I'm not like attached, oh, now I want to have an hotel. No. I don't know if I'm going to own a hotel. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But if I'm supposed to own a hotel, then the steps that my instinct is telling me to take, then it will take me there. And otherwise, it will take me somewhere else. And in the meantime, I've learned a lot. And that's also because of my profile, of course. You know, the 1-3 is all about learning, investigating, and everything is activated right now because I have to do research about hotels, about prices, about all kinds of stuff. And yet I love that kind of thing. So for me, that's like a joy during the day that I can research that. But what happened next was that a friend of mine, she said, oh, I know this hotel owner here in Puerto Vallarta. Maybe you can pick his brain about, you know, what kind of information do you need, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, okay, great, let's do that. And I only connected with him for like 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, the first thing he said to me, well, I don't know if starting a hotel, if that is something you want to pursue, because the hotel that I'm looking at has only 12 rooms, so it's very small. And he says it's hard to break even with that little rooms. But he says, I want to talk to you about it, no problem. And then this voice came in my head like, yeah, but you have this other project, community project that you're still working on. And that is probably a very good combination. So I just said that to him, like, well, maybe it's not a hotel. Maybe I'm going to build a community over there. And immediately his eyes lighted up. He got sparks in his eyes. And he told me, can you tell me a little bit more about that? So I told him about what my idea is and that I want to connect locals with the tourist market here and bring back the locals back into the center of Puerto Vallarta because they're now pushed out because of all the rich Americans buying houses. And he was like, we are going to get together and we are going to talk about that because that is something that I want to. And then I was like, wow, because of the start with the hotel, the community went to the back of my mind. So like, okay, it's not for this moment. And then all of a sudden it loops back and it's back in the picture again. And now with someone who has a lot of experience here in Puerto Vallarta, who knows a lot of people. And I'm like, yeah, everything always happens as it is supposed to happen.
Yeah,
Just follow it.
is he Mexican or?
No, he's Canadian
Oh,
or
Canadian.
American. I'm not sure. England, American or Canadian? No, probably American, because he was talking about his mother in Washington, so that's America. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he's been living here for 20 years, and he's been doing business here for 20 years, so he knows a lot. He has a lot of knowledge about things. He knows a lot of people here also. But it was so interesting that, yeah, we connected right away on the part that we want to bring this community sense back into the city here, because it's getting lost a little bit. And I know, because I talk a lot with Mexican people that are from here, that they are very sad that they are being pushed out of their own home, and home, like the neighborhood that they were like brought up as a child, and now they are getting pushed out. And it means for a lot of them that they now need to commute for like an hour or an hour and a half by bus to get to their jobs, which means that like 3 hours a day they are traveling, and then they are working, and they work 12 hours here at least.
Oh,
So already 15 hours a day they are not at home. And in Mexico, family and
yeah.
family, being around your family is the most important thing in life. So, and that's a value I respect a lot, because they are really there for their families, and also their community, by the way. Not only their family, if you're the neighbor, they will take care of you too, you know. So, and that's something so precious in my belief, that it would be a shame that it is pushed out, and then the center of the city becomes this ghost town. Sorry, I have to take this.
Great.
Momento, por favor.
I love I love to be quiet sometimes. Ah, there she is again.
Yeah, sorry. That
No,
was
it's
a phone
okay.
call I
I'm
was expecting.
quiet all the time. I love the silence.
Oh, you were just silent? Yeah, that's good
I
too.
was just silent, yes.
That's good too. So, yeah, that was an important call. I know I was waiting on it for 2 days already. So,
Yeah, no worries.
okay, well, where were we? What were we talking about?
You were talking about the experience of the business, and then when you connect some, when you are going with the flow, then and you sense in your body that you are not getting the connection at the moment that you wish for, and then you talk about your dream, and then suddenly the whole energy flow changes, and it starts to become a good connection. Am I right?
Yeah,
And it's nice how it works. But so for me, it's a lot of information about what is meant to be or not meant to be, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the outcome will be like this or this or this. No, it just means that you're on the right track and you're in the flow again,
Yeah.
and that you are connecting with your heart and not with the mind. And yeah, it's very important you do something that you really love
Yeah.
and you just chase your dreams.
Yeah.
And of course, it is spoken a lot about that. People speak a lot about chasing your dreams, and it's scary, of course, and sometimes it's miraculous and crazy things happen. But at the end, I believe that chasing your dreams is the only thing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, and also what I'm really learning the last couple of weeks that has been a big theme in my life is not to be attached to a certain outcome.
Yeah.
And that was something I always did. I had all these expectations, and I'm embracing more and more like, okay, I don't need to know upfront where I am going. I'm just being here in the moment, and especially as a splenic, that's of course very important. I can understand maybe for emotional is totally different, but for me, being in the moment is very, very important. So, and being not attached to a certain outcome, I I also see things develop in other ways than before, because
Mhm.
because I was expecting a certain outcome, I would listen to someone and then only pick the things that I hear that are connected to that outcome. All the other things I would just ignore. I wouldn't even hear them. And now I'm practicing a lot with like, okay, not being attached to an outcome. And especially in the relationship that I am right now, um, is that in my previous relationships with men, I always had, it needed to be going there, or and it needed to be or look like that or feel like that. And when I'm right now in this moment, I'm like, okay, it doesn't need to go anywhere. I'm just here. I'm just now, and I will just see what happens. And the interesting thing about it is, in the years that I always had that certain outcome in my head, like, I really had the thing going on with, they really conditioned me good with all the romantic movies, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
prince on the shiny white horse, and he straps you off your feet, and he will take care of you, and he will do this for you, and he will do that for you, and it will be romantic, and blah 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 blah. And if someone wasn't taking care of me, or if someone wasn't buying me dinner or whatever, all of a sudden that was a bad thing. He doesn't care for me, he doesn't love me, da, da, da. I would connect those things. And that really took a toll in my previous relationships, because they could never live up to those expectations, because I wasn't allowing them to be just themselves and give to me or love me in their way that's unique for them. And so now I'm really stepping into that feeling like, okay, I want to be loved by someone in their way and appreciate their way of loving me without putting a label on it and saying, no, that's not good enough, or no, that's not what I see in the movie, so he isn't a good guy, or he isn't this, or he isn't that. So, and that's a very interesting way for me, at least, to live and look at love, but also in business and whatever, because I'm doing it all over the place. Just keep things neutral and see what happens. And yeah, the if I would, like 2 years ago with the hotel thrown in my lap, I would have said like, okay, no, that's not for me, and I would discard it. If I had done that right now, I wouldn't have met the guy now that I met about talking about the hotel, because there wouldn't be a reason to meet that guy. And maybe I would have eventually met him, but not in this timeline. or not in this period right now.
You
And
don't know. You don't know.
no, but
No, it
I,
could.
I'm looking back at certain things in my
Okay.
life that happened, and
Mm.
I can see that there's disconnect happening then, and it took way longer before things started to come on the path again. So that's what I mean. So is that
Okay.
better if I put it like that? Yeah. So of course you never know, but if it's meant to be, it will always come back. I believe that. Uh, but the distinction I make is clear or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have for you, the way I do it is I'm now very much aware that we live in a projection field, that we create our own movie and we create whatever we want to to have in our lives. And maybe it's a little bit heavy for you guys to and you don't understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, for me, it's like knowing that, knowing that. So now I have decided that I want to create and to live things that I really like. So, and maybe it's because of an emotional I have to feel. So I listen to the feeling, but I create whatever it feels good and whatever I like, I do it. And this is also a little bit important because I have the 5 in my profile, and the 5 people with the 5 in the profile are very much connected with the projection field. We have a lot of yeah we have a lot of people who project things on us, and and we are actually we are rebels and we are thinking and living out of the box. And the way I see it, this is completely the way I see it. I don't know anybody else who thinks about this, but the way I see it, when uh, you are actually working in the quantum field and you are touching little dots and you are changing things. So if you are aware of that, then you can uh, just think and feel for yourself like, okay, if I want to touch a button, do I want to touch a button then I feel sad, or do I would like to touch a button and then I feel great and I feel happy? So for me, it's that. For me, I listen. I now I really, 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 really like to create a beautiful life, and this is for me the way I do it. And I am always the driver in my bus. I'm always responsible. I have my friend. It was very nice. She was talking about she was having lunch, and but her husband, he was baking eggs for her, and he was at the same time he was making coffee as well. So, but it didn't go very well simultaneously. So it was like first the eggs, and then he was thinking, "Oh, I have to do the coffee also." And then my friend was like, somehow a little bit complaining, like, "Ah, didn't you make the coffee already?" Because sorry guys, I have a little bit throat issue. So because I like my coffee with my lunch. And she was a little bit complaining about that. And then I told her, no, no, no. If you want your coffee with your lunch, wait with eating. Wait until you have the coffee, and then you will drink and eat at the same time, and you have the coffee with your lunch. And for me, it's like this is how life for me works. If I want to create something, I can complain that something is not working, or something is not coming come true or whatever. Then I was thinking, okay, what can I do differently? How can I create different things in my life so I can create the way I want it or the way I long for it?
Yeah, I love that because for me that shows up like I always call that looking at things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, just try to do it in another way. You know.
Yeah, but maybe this is a five way. I don't know. It's out of the box, and I am aware that I am aware, and it's difficult for people with a free in the profile to be aware about what they do and what I feel, what they actually do. We we think like if you have a talent, it's very hard to notice that you have a talent. You believe that everybody has the same, with a free it's a little bit more than with other things. So Monique told me anyway, and I believe that because for me it's very, I get very many times I get reflected like, yeah, but Chris, you do a lot. I said, no, I don't do a lot. I didn't do anything. Oh, you did so many things. Oh, I do know. And the five, and the five is living out of the box, is able to make decisions and make new ways out of the box. So it works for me, and I don't know if it works for you. You don't have the five, and it works for anyone else. So I just sharing my experience and the way I look at it.
Yeah, but I think that the difference was already in the wording because when I said I recognize it, I used to looking at it from a different perspective. You
Mm,
are actually doing it different, and I look at it different. So there's already a distinction in how I perceive this
yeah,
you're
yeah,
sharing. So yeah, and everybody else. So share down below our video how you would perceive it for yourself. Maybe you are noticing something like that in your life, like, hey, am I doing things in a different way, or am I an out of the box thinker, or how do I approach things in life? Just let us know. We're always curious to hear from other people how the things show up in your life, because like we are telling, this is our experience. Chris shares her experience, I share my experiences, and that's the only thing we can do. We cannot teach you how to do it because it's not a skill. It's just being yourself. That's the skill. It's just you being you in the most authentic way possible. So I think that's a good way and a good moment to stop because we are already over an hour again.
oh, it goes fast.
Yes. So, in case you didn't know yet, but we have also just opened up Instagram account, so you can follow us at YOUnique Research. Just at research YOUnique Research, and you find us and you can follow us. So hit the follow button there. And we also started on Facebook, a Facebook page, and also search for YOUnique Research, and you will find it. Like the page, and then you get other information about energy fields, about inner authority, about gifts, about talents, and well, we have a lot of things to share with you. So just follow us, and of course follow us on YouTube if you like these talks, and if you are maybe get inspired to experiment in your own way. And please do share with us what you're experimenting with, what your experience is, so we can learn from you too, because
Yeah.
we are here to learn from each other, and everybody has different approach, different view. And that's the oneness in diversity, and that's the things that I love, and I know Chris does too.
Yes, yes, exactly. More.
Yeah. So, do you want to say something to
No,
end this? No.
no.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
I'm kind of quiet today.
Ah, that's good. That's okay. So, look
Bye.
back at our old videos, and there's a lot of goodies there to be found. And we see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.